Hey friends, I'm Kim Sorges with Not Consumed Ministries, where we help families grow in faith so they are not consumed by life. I am so glad you're joining me today. We are going to talk about my basic plan for teaching homeschool electives, and I'll share some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. The first thing you need to know about electives is that they can get out of hand very fast. You need a plan. One of the ways that I stay very purposeful about electives is to make sure that I have a very detailed plan in my organized homeschool planner every year. That starts with a long-range plan that I have detailed here. A long-range plan is super important because you want to look at the whole picture. It's not just about what do you want for your kids this year, it's about what do you want for your kids when they graduate. So this is going to be an important thing to write down. This isn't really an exact list. The goal is to think through what it will look like in early and then late elementary and what it will look like in middle school and high school. After your long-range plan, you're going to want to make an annual plan. I write down each subject that I'm going to teach, including the electives that my kids are going to do. You can see here on Nathan's, he's got piano and ukulele. Next up is the extras worksheet. On this worksheet, you're going to want to write down everything each one of your children does. And you're going to want to write the number of hours it takes every week or however often it is. All of our electives are purposeful, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Your long-range plan, your annual plan, and your extras plan all come together into your daily plan. That looks a little like this. If you don't have a copy of the Organized Homeschool Planner and would love to get one, you can pick it up at store.notconsumed.com. Of course, you can jot these notes down yourself as well. The second thing you want to remember about electives is that you don't want to neglect the record-keeping part of this. It's super important. When you go on a field trip, you want to write these things down. If your children are involved with electives that take a lot of their time, they need to get credit for that, especially as they get older. One of the ways that I do that is from this form. It's called the Field Study Write-Up. We use this for all kinds of things, from camps to plays to really anything that my kids participate in that doesn't have a formal curriculum. The cool news is you can get that form absolutely free as a part of our back to school activity pack. I'll be sure and link to that in the notes for this video. Let's get specific with age groups. Elementary electives are very purposeful. You want to be exploring all kinds of things. During this stage, we also like to really work on life skills, starting with your personal life skills. Those are things like brushing your teeth and combing your hair. And then once they've got those mastered, we move to your space life skills. So those are things like making your bed and being able to put things on the shelf or tidy your room. By middle school, we are working on things like money management, food prep, and larger jobs like maybe mowing the lawn. I like to start these skills early because by the time they get to high school, I want them to be working on major life skills like completing an entire meal for the family, managing a budget, going grocery shopping, things that they will need to live on their own. Remember, when you're recording all of the things that your child has done during a particular school year, to always write life skills or home economics or whatever in your records. These are good skills and we want to get credit for them. I only have one elementary age child left at home, Luke, and he has several electives that he will do this year. All of my kids take piano, so that is one standard given. He's also going to be taking an art class with his sister this year. We are using Artistic Pursuits for that. If you've not seen this curriculum, it's one of my favorites. Luke is also going to be doing Still Singing. Still Singing is a very unique curriculum that we have here at Not Consumed. It actually fits in many of the categories, not just electives, but language arts and history as well. The study covers 33 different hymns. First, you learn the story behind the hymn and the hymn writer's life. You take notes on that. Then there's a Bible lesson. Our goal is to not only get kids in the Word, but to practically think about what this passage means in their lives and what it meant in the life of the hymn writer. Next is a music theory lesson. There's also copy work, which I believe should be very purposeful. Of course, there's also a fun activity and a page full of extension activities for various age levels. So he's excited about doing that, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about it, even though I would consider it an elective, but also an all-encompassing curriculum. Okay, middle school. This is the time to really let your child pursue interests and passions. We want them to get into all the things that they might want to do when they grow up. We want to let them dabble in those things. As we do that, we help them to see whether or not this is a career path that they should pursue, or whether or not this is something that maybe is really just a hobby. So Nathan, my middle schooler, is going to be doing piano like the other kids. He also really wants to learn to play the ukulele. He's also a part of our Bible quiz club at church, and then go to competitions and answer questions and compete. He loves it. He's like super, super excited about doing it. Last but not least, he is very excited to be doing a computer programming class this year. We're doing it through a monthly box called Bitsbox. He gets these little cards, and then on the back of the card is instructions for coding an app. And he does it one way the first time, and then he gets to play with it and experiment with the code. So fun. By the way, this little binder is called an Apper Keeper for those of us who had one of those in 4th grade. This is pretty cute. I love it. Okay, let's jump to high school. In high school, we now have state requirements. Now, most states, though, do not have stringent requirements, but as with every subject, you need to look them up. You need to figure out what they are, and we need to make a plan. So I said that we wanted to let our middle schoolers begin to explore passions and interests. With our high schoolers, it's time to take the exploration of that to the next level. We want them to really start thinking about their future careers. And I encourage my kids to explore things that might lead to those future careers very specifically. Rachel is also going to be doing artistic pursuits. She's done some of the younger versions, and she's going to be helping Luke with his, but now she's ready for some of the more advanced techniques and for the learning about different artists and their styles. For her, art is a passion, and she's an amazing artist. So we're pursuing that not because I think that high schoolers need to take art, but because that is a passion for her. Next, she will be taking the 2nd year of sign language. She took sign language last year as a first year. She loved it. She'll do her 2nd year this year. Rachel also does piano, and she does voice lessons. She's involved with the choir at our church. She'll have plenty of hours to put towards a music elective credit. The last thing she does, which is the bulk of her time, is theater. She is very active in our theater Academy of the Arts Ministries here in Taylor, South Carolina, and it's a fantastic ministry, by the way. If you have a student who is very interested in theater, it's a very Christ-centered theater. They have like summer camps, and they have seminars and all kinds of things that even you can get involved in, whether you live anywhere near here or not. She does usually 2 major productions a year and several seminars. She does volunteering down there. She will help with makeup and costumes for productions that she's not in. She's very, very active there. We rely on our field study write-up pages for this, and we put them in her notebook so we can calculate all of those hours. There's more than enough, but also so she can write down and reflect on all of the amazing things she's learned. Okay, Leah. Now, Leah's also a high school student. She is a junior. So Rachel was a 9th grader. Leah is a junior. Leah will be doing piano. She will also be getting a horseback riding credit in. She not only rides, but she helps teach. She helps work with the other kids. She helps with the grooming and the boarding and all of that at her barn. So like Nathan, she is in Bible Quiz Club. Last but not least, she is actually on her 3rd year of Latin. This is actually not the book that she will be using for Latin 3, but I wanted to bring it here because it's a great starter Latin curriculum if you have a student who's really interested in pursuing that. Okay, that's all for electives. Thank you for joining me. One final thought before we go. It's really easy to get overwhelmed with the selection of curriculum and the different things that you do with your kids. Remember, God has trusted you with this amazing job of raising your kids and educating them, and He will equip you. He is faithful to help you choose and help you teach all of these things, and it's going to be amazing. I'm rooting for you. I'm excited for you, and this is going to be a great year. See you next time.